Good evening and thank you for joining us. Stefan is away tonight. I'm Austin Lee. One person is dead and 19 others are displaced after a Sunday evening fire in Hintonburg. Now investigators are searching for the cause of the fire. It happened on the first floor of a three-story building on Armstrong Street. CTV's Josh Morano starts us off.
This was the scene Sunday night as crews responded to calls for a fire and residents trying to escape this three-story building in Hintonburg.
I didn't see anything at the time. I think most of it had already been resolved, but I definitely smelled a bit of smoke. They had the fans going at the door, so I think they were airing the place out.
Firefighters arriving within minutes, containing the blaze to a first-floor unit.
They extinguished the fire that was found in a bedroom on the first floor. They then did a search. At the same time, a resident was found inside the bathroom of the same fire unit, unconscious with severe burns.
Ottawa Fire confirming the victim was a man in his 70s who died in hospital.
2 firefighters carried the victim out, where another crew, another truck had set up a medical sector where they were ready. They started CPR immediately as soon as the victim was brought outside. They had oxygen ready and a defibrillator.
The resuscitation was initiated by the firefighter, was taken over by the paramedics who continued resuscitation efforts during his transport to the hospital, where unfortunately he was pronounced deceased later in the evening.
Paramedics say they were called back to the scene an hour later for a male in his 60s who sustained smoke inhalation. He was treated and taken to hospital in stable condition. Officials say the fire was under control in less than 30 minutes and did not spread beyond the one unit, but 19 residents have been displaced.
On behalf of the Ottawa Fire Services, we do want to send our condolences to any family or friends that are affected by this incident. And just that this was a very tragic first fire for 2026, and our thoughts are with everybody.
Ottawa police say they're continuing to work alongside fire investigators.
We'll run a parallel investigation, but at this point there's no criminality with regards to the fire. And we're here to assist the Office of the Fire Marshal, fire investigator, as well as our counterparts with the Ottawa Fire Department.
Neighbors seen expressing their condolences and say they're still shaken up.
It's unfortunate to hear that there was a person who passed away from it. That really sucks.
Josh Morano, CTV News.
Well, Canadians spent more on groceries and eating out in December. According to Statistics Canada, the overall pace of inflation was 2.4% last month, but the cost of meals in restaurants increased 8.5%. The cost of food bought from the grocery store rose 5%. Frozen beef was leading the way in some regards at 16.8% increase. Coffee up 30.8%. Prices for potato chips and other snacks, those increased 7.9%. StatsCan says the federal government's move to take the GST off some items for 2 months in mid-December of 2024 dropped prices for dining out, alcohol, and much more. But with that tax holiday now done, those prices rose this year. Some shoppers say the price increases at the checkout have changed their habits, while others have been able to stomach it for now.
It's very hard to shop the way we used to shop. We just noticed the beef today. We haven't bought a round roast or a roast of beef in years.
We don't go out to restaurants anymore unless it's just for breakfast once a month.
Yeah.
And people like my brother sometimes bring us groceries.
So how has it changed your habits?
Hasn't.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm eating real regular.
There was some good news for motorists. Gasoline prices fell nearly 14% in December compared to December of 2024. StatsCan points to an oversupply of crude oil globally that drove down prices. The December inflation figures were released just over a week before the Bank of Canada makes its first interest rate decision of the year. That comes next week, and a lot of people are still eating regular, like that last gentleman we heard of, putting on a bit of a winter coat as the weather is still pretty cold. Jackie.
Will be quite the chilly night. We've got overnight lows about -15. When you factor in the wind gusts and the wind chill, it's going to feel closer to about -24 when we wake up tomorrow morning. Again, those gusts up to 50 kilometers per hour. So it will be a windy evening. If there are flurries as well, there could be some blowing snow as well. So keep an eye on this. Tomorrow, the daytime high -10. The good news is we're in for some mainly sunny skies, but the winds will persist. Gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour for our Tuesday. Here's the thing. Whilst Tuesday will be sunny, we are anticipating by Wednesday evening into Thursday more snow on the way. We'll have those details for you, much more in the newscast. For now, we'll take it back to you, Austin.
Jackie, thank you. And as we look ahead to more snow, we're still looking back, and the big cleanup is underway after more than a foot of snow blanketed Ottawa over the past week. The city has begun operations to remove those massive snowbanks as motorists try to navigate the narrow roads. CTV's Dave Charbonneau reports.
For Daniela Kolick, winter weather is nothing new.
I don't think snow is pretty much a problem for me.
Kolick says compared to where she grew up in snowy Eastern Europe, Ottawa's approach to snow clearing stands out.
I think here you have a system and you are very well organized. But I can say I think you have a budget for it and you have, I think, services that are prepared.
The city says that system is now shifting into high gear as large snowbanks are removed from neighborhood streets.
We're full force into snow removal, night shift and day shift.
But after 40 centimeters of snow over the past week, residents are being asked for patience.
So looking at the snow accumulation we have, the weather upcoming, we're probably looking at a 2-week cycle period to remove all the residential and arterial roadways in the downtown area.
In some tight areas like Sandy Hill, the snowbanks may be frustrating, but most residents understand it takes time.
It's tough because they can't really plow it because people need to park here all the time, but it is what it is.
I would love to see neighbors when they're shoveling to put the snow on their lawn instead of in the street, because a lot of people have street parking only.
While snowbanks can be a nuisance, some neighbors worry they could become a serious problem in an emergency.
If somebody has a heart attack and there's a couple of parked cars, people are legitimately worried about whether emergency vehicles will get through.
And for some, confusion over snow removal signs might be adding to the frustration.
I was in the Beechwood area.
Yeah.
Snowbanks were going to be removed, although from the signage it was unclear if they were being removed yesterday during the day or today during the day.
When you see us put signs out that are yellow for daytime removal on a day, it means that snow is going to be removed the next day. And then when you see the red signs go up that day, it's happening that night. So we're always looking at like a 24-hour moving window when we go through there.
Until the snowbanks are gone, residents are being asked to watch the signs and plan ahead. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
OC Transpo has certainly faced its fair share of criticism from frustrated riders over the last few years. Now, a new community group is hoping to address some of the public transit woes by, in some cases, making buses and trains free. CTV's Sean Varden has more.
A new group, Free Transit Ottawa, is looking for a few volunteers to help make their vision of transit in the capital a reality.
The top demand is to make the buses free in off-peak hours, all right? And the second top demand is to buy more buses. Those that are on the buses say it's too expensive, it's too unreliable.
A great public transit system can be truly transformative.
Monday's launch party at Irene's Pub, an opportunity to connect and spread the word.
I think that as we get the word out, we'll have more and more support.
The city is going to grow by, around 400,000 people over the next 25 years. The future of this city has to be a public transit future. We cannot accommodate the hundreds of thousands of cars that are going to be on our roads if we don't have a functioning transit system.
They say just listen to your heart, but I don't know how.
Entertainment keeping the crowd energized as they offer up a new way to make transit cheaper, faster, and more reliable.
So I wanted to meet like-minded people who also cared about the issue, and hopefully we can create some change in City Council and the issues surrounding transit in our cities.
Along with free off-peak service and more buses, the group wants to expand the number of bus lanes, add 50 neighborhood routes, and reform the Transit Commission, replacing half with members elected directly by the public and transit unions. They estimate the changes would cost $125 million a year.
There are a lot of things that we can do without necessarily going down the path of free transit in the immediate near term to make public transit a first instead of a last choice.
Sean Varden, CTV News.
Orleans East Cumberland Councillor Matthew Luloff pleaded not guilty at the Ottawa courthouse today as a trial kicked off 18 months after he was charged with impaired driving. It was back on July 6th of 2024 when Luloff was arrested and charged with 1 count of impaired driving and 1 count of having a blood alcohol content of over 0.8 2 hours after operating a vehicle. Luloff, along with his lawyer Lawrence Greenspan, entering the not guilty plea today. member of the Ottawa Police Service who arrested Luloff that night testified that the city councillor was arrested at his home in Orleans after driving back from Blues Fest. The officer noted he smelled a strong odor of alcohol on Luloff's breath and that Luloff failed the subsequent breathalyzer test before he was arrested. The driver who called 911 to report the impaired driving also testified today and says she saw Luloff's Jeep swerving across the road and driving erratically, hitting the curb like a bumper car and almost hitting her. In court today, the female driver said, quote, "It was terrifying the way he was driving," adding, "I could have been dead or paralyzed. His driving scared me." The witness says she then followed Luloff to a Wendy's in Orleans where Luloff's Jeep ordered at the drive-thru, and she then called police before following Luloff's Jeep to his driveway, but she says she did not see him get out of his car. Police also testified that they did not see Luloff inside or driving the Jeep, but the officer added the hood of the vehicle was warm. At least 2 other witnesses, another Ottawa police constable and an Ottawa police breath technician, are expected to testify in this case as well. Premier Doug Ford is blasting the federal government's deal with China. Speaking on the Morning Rush with Bill Carroll on Newstalk 580 CFRA, Ford said the deal to lower tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles will hurt the auto industry and Ottawa's tech sector.
It was an absolute terrible deal for Ontario. We ended up getting nothing except potential job losses in the auto sector that employs over 500,000 people. And right in Ottawa, too, there's auto part manufacturers in Ottawa on the tech side.
The Premier called China the biggest threat to the security of Canada. Ford says he hopes to continue to have good relationship with the Prime Minister. Ottawa South MPP John Fraser will be the interim leader of the Ontario Liberal Party. The Liberal caucus has nominated Fraser to be the leader to replace Bonnie Crombie. Crombie resigned last week as Liberal leader after receiving tepid support in a leadership review last fall. The Liberals will announce details of the leadership race by February 9th. And there will be layoffs at 2 federal museums here in Ottawa as part of the federal government's plans to reduce the size of the public service. Officials confirm the Canadian War Museum and the Canadian Museum of History are implementing staffing reductions due to the comprehensive expenditure review and to cover its own structural deficit. The museums would not say how many jobs will be cut. The Canadian Museum of Nature said there would not be any layoffs at its museum.
All of the technology and innovation that goes in this new hospital has to be funded by the hospital. That's where philanthropy comes into play.
Coming up, construction and fundraising efforts continue to build Ottawa's new hospital. There's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is currently minus 11 degrees. A quick correction of a story we brought you just moments ago. I said that Councillor Matthew Luloff had a blood alcohol content of 0.8. That was a mistake. He's been charged with 1 count of having a blood alcohol content of 0.08. In other news, we still don't know how much the new civic campus of the Ottawa Hospital will cost or when it will open. It's also unclear if Ottawa taxpayers will be asked to contribute. But as CTV's Leah LaRocque reports, the foundation has hit nearly 80% of its goal.
Gary Grace admits the City of Ottawa needs a new hospital.
I'm visiting my wife, and the staff are fantastic. Everything's great. The building is really showing its age.
Crews continuing to work on the new Ottawa Hospital Civic Campus near Dow's Lake. The original price tag was expected to be $2.8 billion, with the new hospital opening in 2029. But now the design of the hospital, the cost, and the construction timeline isn't finalized. And it also isn't clear if the City of Ottawa will contribute $150 million in taxpayers' money, which was originally proposed in 2022.
Those discussions are ongoing with the city and what role the city will play.
That's it. Up here, Chris. Get ahead.
But the Ottawa Hospital Foundation is on track to meet its $500 million fundraising goal for the new campus. It's already at $396 million.
There are elements of this new hospital that the government doesn't fund. Specifically, all of the equipment, all of the technology and innovation that goes in this new hospital has to be funded by the hospital. That's where philanthropy comes into play.
The parking garage will be the first part that will open hopefully by this spring. And when construction ramps up on the new site behind me, that's where the public as well as hundreds of construction workers will be able to park. The foundation says this will be a critical year with major fundraisers like Ottawa Race Weekend and the President's Breakfast.
You think of how the economy in the last number of years has been up and down as well, our current situation in Canada today, but people continue to be generous throughout all of that.
While the cost of the new hospital is high, many believe it will be worth it.
I actually work at the hospital, so this is going to be my new home someday.
Leah LaRocque, CTV News.
You could tell how bundled up that gentleman was and also how bundled up Leah was. It was cold out there today and some snow falling. Jackie, what do we have in store?
Well, we've had some flurries today as well, some blowing snow moving through. The good news is we won't quite see this for Tuesday, so the morning commute, not bad. Mainly sunny skies to carry us through. By the evening, though, we could see some flurries moving through parts of the valley, maybe even close to Kingston. But for the most part, here in the capital, we've got partly cloudy skies for our evening forecast. But the temperatures, we are factoring that wind chill, feeling more like -24 to start things off in the morning. Wind gusts will persist into the afternoon, up to 40 kilometers per hour, but the daytime high will be around -10. Tonight's lows across eastern Ontario will average between -12 to -15 along the Seaway, but you can see by the valley temperatures much chillier, about -21 for Petawawa and Pembroke. Milwaukee sitting around -20 as well. Tomorrow's daytime highs, well, it will average between -8 to -10 for really most parts of the region. So this is the good news, because by the time we get to the end of the week, temperatures will get much colder. I did mention, though, by Wednesday, the snow will be on its way. By Wednesday evening, we could anticipate between 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. So if you haven't cleared off your driveway, you want to do so before Wednesday, because there will be more to dig yourself out of. Here's a quick look through our 7-day forecast. Again, -9 for Wednesday, -5 for Thursday, but it's Friday into Saturday and Sunday where overnight lows will be closer to about -27, -28. So it will be a chilly weekend, so enjoy these next couple of days.
Well, final preparations are underway for NASA's first crewed mission to the moon in more than 50 years. Video shows NASA's SLS rocket on the launch pad in Cape Canaveral, Florida. The crew, which will include Canadian Jeremy Hansen, is scheduled for a 10-day mission around the moon. The earliest liftoff could be February 6th.
I would just say that the work of winter is not so much fixing ourselves, but realigning how we think about things.
Still ahead, why some experts say we just need to change the way we think about Blue Monday. Ottawa Police and the Royal are launching a new mobile crisis response team starting this spring. The team will deliver immediate, specialized support to individuals experiencing mental illness or substance use crises in the community. A clinical mental health professional from the Royal will be teamed with police officers to respond to those types of calls. Well, did you feel blue to start this week? If you did, you're not alone. Today is considered to be Blue Monday, when people start to feel that winter blah. However, some experts say it's all about realigning how we think about things. CTV's Camille Wilson reports.
Mark Gravelin finds the joys in every winter day.
This little girl keeps me busy with 6 walks a day, so no time to be blue.
Gravelin says he didn't even know Blue Monday was a thing. He always keeps himself active.
I'm retired, so I get to do whatever I want to do. Do a lot of indoor cycling. That keeps me pretty busy. Got a bunch of little projects that I like doing for fun.
Blue Monday, the third Monday of January, originated 20 years ago as a marketing campaign for a British travel company. But experts say January can be depressing for some.
There's something about this time of year, the winter doldrums. It's just the light is less, the warmth is less, the ability to connect with people is less. So there does seem to be a lot less. There's the Christmas bills are coming, there's less money, there seems just to be less. Or a lack of things.
Experts say it's the little things to keep you uplifted during the winter blues, keeping busy, getting outside for about 20 to 30 minutes a day, and wearing bright dopamine colors.
Connecting with people, is very important. And, you can do that even if you can't get outside, You can do it virtually.
And finding ways to stay positive during the winter.
Dancing, painting, talking with friends, the occasional glass of wine, those kinds of things.
Seasonal affective disorder is a real thing, experts say, and affects 2 to 3% of the population.
We're doing an event for our staff, volunteers, and physicians where we're sharing messages of gratitude towards one another. So we're looking to improve people's physical, mental, and emotional well-being through sharing messages of positivity and thanks.
Creating little moments for anticipation to look forward to, like gravel and escaping to the warmer weather.
When it becomes a little much, I take off to Spain for a couple of weeks. February 8th. It's on my calendar and I'm counting down. I always have something on my schedule, on my calendar that I look forward to. And so it breaks the monotony. It looks something like you're looking forward to something.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
We've already seen almost $50,000 in counterfeit money that's been turned in.
Coming up, phony bills circulating in Canada's largest cities sparks a warning call to shoppers and visitors. A warning tonight if you're traveling to the Toronto area to be on the lookout for counterfeit bills circulating in the city. Police say criminals have produced faked 20s, 50s, but now more fake $100 bills are ending up in circulation. CTV's Pat Foran has that story.
Trailers Ontario has 4 locations in the province selling cargo trailers for various applications. A customer recently bought one at their Mississauga site and paid for it in part with counterfeit money.
When did you find out that the cash was counterfeit?
First thing Monday morning.
Owner Nadir Virgie says the customer wanted to pay for the trailer in cash.
A customer came to us last week, purchased a trailer for $12,200, and he ended up slipping in $6,200 in counterfeit money.
Frustrated he'd been scammed out of $6,200, Virgie called Peel Police. They're continuing to investigate, but the man who handed over the cash was not arrested. As he said, he got the fake $100 bills from someone else when he sold a trailer.
The police told me that it is a civil matter since he paid half in legitimate currency and half in fake currency.
To avoid counterfeit money scams, avoid large cash transactions if possible. If a cash payment is required, complete the transaction at a financial institution. Do not accept money you believe may be counterfeit, and do not attempt to use counterfeit currency as it's a criminal offense.
They seem to be a bit on the rise right now, especially with, as is always the case, the larger denominations, the $100 bills.
Toronto police say they've noticed a huge increase in fake bills since the beginning of the year.
We've already seen almost $50,000 in counterfeit money that's been turned in and that's been reported to us.
Feel, look, and flip.
For more information on spotting counterfeit notes, you can check the Bank of Canada's website.
Tilt the note to make sure the metallic portrait and building change colors.
As for Virgie, he's frustrated he may have to go to small claims court to get his money back. He says his company is now taking more steps to try and spot counterfeit currency.
We did purchase money counters right now for all our locations, and I've told my entire team to double check every bill.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Still ahead, trading in the cleats for some skates. A pair of red blacks hit up the Canal. There's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. A little shaky out there, a little bit of wind. It's minus 11 degrees. And as the city cleans up from the snowfall we've seen over the last week or so, more snow is on the way. Jackie.
Well, tomorrow's morning temperature minus 15. It will only warm up to about minus 10. And we are anticipating snow for Wednesday, 5 to 10 centimeters. But the good news is if you have yet to hit the canal, these temperatures for Friday, Saturday, and even into Sunday with minus double-digit temperatures, the canal is in good shape.
Thank you, Jackie. And speaking of the canal, finally for us tonight, a pair of Ottawa Red Blacks swapped out their cleats for skates to hit up the skateway. They also took some time to pose with fans. Long snapper Peter Adjei and wide receiver Gino Lewis proving their abilities as multi-sport athletes this morning. Snow covered the Canal skateway today, but that didn't stop them from tearing it up. The Ottawa 67s even jumped in the comments, having some fun, joking about adding them to the team's permanent roster. So everyone's getting a good dose of winter activities on the Rideau Canal this season. You love to see it. That is CTV News for this Monday, January 19th. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a great night. If you find yourself on the roads, drive safe.